Welcome back to Freedom School Online's Freedom Papers Surviving a Trump Era 2.0 with Professor BP of TikTok University. So happy to have you back, and we have a lot to dive into this week. Welcome to everyone who's new to the course. For those who are new, feel free to download your digital toolkit in the portal, aka the link tree in bio. Everyone can always enroll in this class, and feel free to get your materials for the rest of our discussions. Class announcements. This will be the last update that I'll be making about the course materials on TikTok. We are actually going to be transitioning into Zoom classes. So if you want to sign up for those, feel free again to sign up for your toolkit so you can get notice per email so that we can schedule it appropriately. Last week for Freedom Papers Online, we covered what is Project 2025. We went into depth about what it is, what it isn't, how may we, in fact, counteract the issues that are on our doorstep. Feel free to look at the previous video and the materials beside it in the toolkit, and you can catch up. This week, we are diving into the next chapter of our toolkit, encountering ICE and how we can know our rights if, in fact, we are confronted. Encountering ICE is nothing to smile about. ICE is a part of the larger apparatus of law enforcement in the United States of America that many don't know actually has deep roots to slavery. That's why this is a part of our toolkit. Did you know that the root of law enforcement in this country, in fact, started with paddy rollers who would often be the slave patrols that would police those enslaved people who would run off those plantations and bring them back into captivity. It's no accident that this toolkit is called Freedom Papers, because where things are headed, especially with our immigrant brothers and sisters, though there will come a day and a time where even they and us, who are the most susceptible in our communities in this democracy, will potentially have to walk around with our own freedom papers, or better yet, our own citizenship in hand in order to show or convey that we are in fact citizens of this country. God forbid that occurs, but this is why we have to stand in the gap for our brothers and sisters, because what we're seeing right now in the same methodology of how they're rounding up those who are in fact immigrants in our nation is reminiscent to the slave patrols that happened during the enslavement period in this country's past. This is in fact how we can counter ICE if in fact we are approached. Watch this video.
Samir's wife asked him to stop at the store on his way home from work to pick up groceries. While shopping, Samir noticed a man who seemed to be watching him. Was he paranoid? Probably, he thought. Samir's heart started racing when he saw a second man watching him outside the store. He moved deliberately toward his car, telling himself there was nothing to worry about. I'm totally being paranoid, he told himself. That's when he felt a forceful grip on his shoulder. Without identifying themselves, the two men began to bark questions at Samir. It was ICE. ICE stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Arrests like these happen every day, and they happen out of nowhere. It's scary, but remember, we have rights. If you are arrested by ICE, remain silent. Ask to speak to a lawyer even if you don't have one. If you witness ICE making an arrest, it is your right to document what you see by taking notes or videotaping. Do not interrupt the arrest, but you have the right to ask for identification and badge numbers. If you've been arrested, do not sign anything. Keep whatever information ICE gives you. They will have important information for your family. After ICE arrests you, they will likely take you to an ICE office and ask you more questions before starting a deportation case against you and deciding whether or not to send you to a detention facility. Remember, do not say anything without a lawyer present. You can ask to speak to a lawyer even if you don't have one. Within about a day, loved ones will be able to search for your location at the website included below. This is all scary, but remember, we have rights.
Very truly, ICE is rounding up the most susceptible people in our communities, and we all have to stand up against this threat. So join Freedom School in countering this by learning and sharing this toolkit with those in your communities who might be the most susceptible, and stand in the gap, especially in fraught times like this. Thank you so much for joining Freedom School Online, and look out for more information for future courses. Peace.